Salams and welcome. Thank you for joining me in another episode of Quran in English for beginners. As we mentioned in the previous episode, the verses 30 to verses 39 are so important because they tell us why mankind was created, how all of that happened, and what happened, why did we end up on the planet Earth. So now let's go through it slowly, step by step, so just in basic terms, so we can get a better understanding of why we are on earth. And once we understand why we are on earth, it gives meaning and purpose to our life. Then we also understand what is our mission in life and why there is a things such as suffering and why it is important for us to go through various trials and tribulations. Right? Behold, A'udhu Billahi Minash Shaitanir Rajim, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Behold, your Lord said to the angels, I will create a vicegerent on earth. This word vicegerent means a representative. For example, if you have a country like South Africa, or if you have America or China or Russia, then you have various ambassadors, and the ambassadors go to different countries, and the ambassador or the envoy or the vicegerent is a representative of that person. But the word vicegerent also has another word to it, a vice-regent. So both words are similar synonyms. So you can either refer to it as a vicegerent or a vice-regent. That has got more of a royal connotation to it, right? An envoy or ambassador is a representative of a president of a country. But a vicegerent has got a more important role because that is an envoy of a king. That entity has got a very royal role to play. For example, say 1,000 years ago, there were many kings in the world. So if one king wanted to go to another nation for an invitation or to go visit them, and the king cannot go to 200 countries at the same time, so the king will appoint his or her most loyal, most articulate, most intelligent person and send that person in his stead to go to visit another country. So when that person speaks, it is as if that person is speaking with authority from the king himself. So the role of a vicegerent is a very honorable role. It is a very high status. So as human beings, we have a very high role. So every human being is a vicegerent of the Creator Supreme, the King and Sovereign of the entire universe. So we've got a very big responsibility sitting on our shoulders once we understand what is the role of a human being. So that is why we cannot conduct and act in such shallow ways as what we see sometimes in social media. And then we wonder that are these people really honorable creatures that have been created by the Creator Supreme, and where did these people come from? So we need to always conduct ourselves with nobility, with honor, and with dignity that is becoming the important role of a vicegerent or a royal representative of the king of the universe, right? So we've got a very important role to play, and we need to conduct ourselves with akhlaq and with good manners at all times, right? So behold, your Lord said to the angels, I will create a vicegerent on earth. And the angel said, and I always find this particular verse fascinating. I don't know the answer to this, and the ulama will probably tell us the answer to this, but I do not know the answer to this. Because can you imagine, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has not created human beings yet. And Allah is now telling the angels that I'm going to, that means in the future, right now, I'm going to create a vicegerent on earth. And the first thing the angel says, will you place therein one who will make mischief therein and shed blood, while we do celebrate your praises and glorify your holy name? Now, I always find this absolutely fascinating. How did the angels know? How did they know? Because look, a human being has not been created. Mankind has not been created. How did the angels know that this creature called a human being will make mischief on the earth and will shed blood? How did they know that? So I always find this verse absolutely fascinating, right? So I don't know the answer to that. Maybe they saw something in a creature called a human being, because you remember, angels are creatures of goodness. They only do good things. Only do good things. right? So they don't shed blood. The angels don't make mischief. Angels don't do warfare and all of that, right? Angels are creatures of good according to what Allah has designed them and created them. They do not follow evil ways. They only follow ways of justice and goodness. But how on earth did they know that this creature that Allah is creating is going to cause bloodshed on earth? And we are seeing how true this concern and the worry of the angels was, because we are seeing so much mischief on the planet earth. There's so much evil, there's so much bloodshed. One nation is invading another nation with their expansionist policies. One nation is invading another nation with their colonial and imperial policies. And through colonialism and imperialism and greed for more power and more money and for the underground resources of other countries, whether it is the gold and diamond and platinum and so on, in the process, people are kicked out of their homes and property, and when they are trying to defend it, they are being murdered and killed and tortured. And all the while they are doing such evil, while they are lying through their teeth and telling in the media that the victims are in fact the bad people. So why is this amazing thing that God most merciful? Because remember, God is good. God is kind. God is loving. God is merciful. So the instrument that He's created will also have these attributes. Yet the same creature will do all of this bloodshed. And the answer that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives, He tells the angels, I know what you know not. Absolutely amazing. Once again, I do not have the answers for that. The ulama know the answers to that. I am not part of the ulama, and I'm always absolutely fascinated by this as well. And the only instrument that I can try and understand, or the answer to this, is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows that a human being has got both the qualities of mischief and goodness. And elsewhere in the Quran, we are also told that we've got a free choice. And human beings can choose the path of goodness or the path of evil. So much so that they can rise even higher than the angels in goodness, or even lower than the worst of the devils in badness or in evil. So whenever we see evil spreading widespread on the planet Earth, then we find that the good people of the world, they are standing up to combat the mischief and the evil and the bloodshed that other people are doing. And we will find this in all ages. At some point in time, some tyrants or oppressors think that they are so powerful that no one can touch them. And evil prevails over the world, and there's mischief and bloodshed. But then the same vicegerent, the same ones who are creating mischief and shedding blood, there are other components of the vicegerent who are infused with so much goodness and so much sense of social justice and human rights that they will stand up and say, this is wrong, this mischief is wrong, this shedding of blood is wrong, this oppression is wrong, and they will stand up to establish peace on the planet Earth. Stay well, look after yourself. Alhamdulillah.